Hi, welcome to another look at LCAs. Today we're looking at the A3 manufacturing waste. So there's two parts of A3, which is the manufacturing processes. So that's all the energy, gas, etc. that you need to sort of manufacture your products. And then there's the waste element, and that's where we'll be focusing our attention today. I'm here with Rebecca Eccles and Louisa Hodge, who head up our LCA division. And we'll be covering what it is, what it's for, how to put data in and stuff like that. It's quite a short video because it's quite easy. There's not much complexity involved in this. So I'm not expecting, it's quite an easy session today. So there's not a lot of complexity in this particular module. So, I'm not expecting a difficult video today. And it forms part of our LCA series. So there's about 15, 20 videos in this series covering each step of producing a high quality LCA, which you can then produce as an EPD should you wish. Okay, so without any further ado, it's over to Rebecca, who is on camera, and Louisa, believe me, is over there. Say hello just to prove you. That was Louisa. She is here, but she's off camera, so that should be Rebecca and me on camera today. So lovely. Rebecca, module A3 manufacturing waste, what is it?
So this is the wasted components during the manufacturing process. So all those components we entered into A1, they may not all necessarily make it to the final product. There may be some off-cuttings, there may just be some components that you ordered that were not high enough quality that you had to throw away. So those will need accounting for here.
Quite straightforward, really. So, and I suspect most manufacturing processes have got waste of some form. Yeah, okay. So, looking at the manufacturing waste A3 module, what's it designed to cover? I think you might have already answered that, I should say.
So it's just the wasted materials during the manufacturing process.
Yeah, a bit repetitive. My apologies. So what data do we require for this module?
So ideally we'd want to know the specific quantity. However, we recognize that might be really difficult. So what we've built into our software is the percentage of each component you expect to waste, because we expect that you should know a rough idea for the whole year, but obviously that's going to vary throughout the year.
So you could probably do that if you measure away the waste. You could do it that way, or if you just know that you have a 20% wastage or a 5% wastage, you can do it like that. Okay, fine. Accuracy, completeness, and data period. When we look at the data, how accurate should it be? What data period?
We want it to be as representative as possible. However, we recognise that you may need to make some assumptions here. So as long as your assumptions are reasonable and you explain why you've made them, it should be completely fine. But they do need to be as representative as we can make them. In terms of data representativeness, this module should also cover 12 months if you want an LCA to be EPD level. However, you won't be asked to input 12 months worth of data into the software, as our software will do all the calculations for you behind the scenes.
Excellent. Okay, good. Well, look, shall we crack on and have a look at actually putting some data into the system?
Yes. So if we go down to products and then click product advanced, we'll continue with our oak table example. So if we click into manufacturing waste, we'll see here all of those components we entered into A1 are now going to show up in a list here. So we want to click into each of these and add a percentage of waste that we expect to see. So if we go into metal legs, so previously we entered steel in for this, so we'd want to look for steel waste. Again, we can give this a title, so you may just want to say metal legs steel waste. And here we just want to say the percentage of those metal legs we expect to waste during the manufacturing process. So maybe it's just 5%. And then we'd want to use the search function to search for our specific data point. So if we just put in waste and steel, then we'll get 9 results. If we want to narrow that down even more, we can go to the rest of the world.
Oh, we got Switzerland in there. Tip is the best of all of Switzerland. Nothing against Switzerland.
So here we've got market for waste, reinforcement steel, treatment, so on and so forth. We've got recycling or a sorting plan. If you don't know which one it's going to go to, you can just choose market. And then now we select our data point. And then we can just scroll down and press submit. And then we just repeat the same process for each of these. So we could go into oak wood.
Which would be things like offcuts, trimmings, sanding wastes, stuff like that, right? Yeah.
So we expect the wood you've ordered for the table, it's going to get cut into a specific shape, and some of that just won't make it onto the final product. So again, a similar process, we can name it if we wish to, state how much waste wood we expect to see. So if I put 10% here, and then if I just put waste oak in here, I don't believe there's a specific data point for oak. And that's just a limitation of the database that's available universally. So if I change this to wood, we'll then get a lot more data points. Since we're in the UK, I can narrow this down. And then we've got a data point for waste wood in the UK. So if I select that, and then we just press submit, and we'll do that for each of the raw materials until you've completed this table. And then we can go back to the previous table where we'll start getting figures populated.
All right, so it's pull it in, down, directing manufacturing waste. And just to be clear, you should, even if it's 0, you should have a waste function for each of the rows on that table. So, just a little sort of thing to watch out for there. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Best practices, I suppose, weigh the waste, or have an idea.
Well, if you don't know what the data is, then you can estimate to start with. But if you can weigh it, that would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. Are there any other best practices to think?
I'd say just knowing how to search the database as well. So usually you want to search your waste data point. You usually want to put the word waste or the word treatment in it, and followed by the material name. So if it's a specific type of plastic, you want to use the full name of that plastic, not the abbreviation. And then use the word waste as well, just so you pull up all the waste data points.
Lovely. All right, great. Okay. So look, let's summarize A3 manufacturing waste then. So in a couple of sentences.
It's simply just the percentage of manufacturing waste for each of your raw components. So it's a super simple module again, very easy to follow.
Thanks, Becca. So and Louis are sitting at the back. But thanks for that. And I hope that was useful for you. It is quite a straightforward module. There's not so much complexity involved in this one. It does form part of a series. So, following on from A3 manufacturing waste is A4 transport, which is downstream transport. So we'll be looking at that next. If you've got any questions on LCAs, EPDs, you have questions about carbon accounting generally, get in contact with us, drop us a line, give us a call, send us an email, whatever it's going to be. And if we can help you, we certainly will. All right, Pegs. See you next time. Bye-bye from me.
Thank you. See you later.